push him back, get him up against the cage, and just work to put him in that blender and get him into that blender of work, whether that be from punches to making him grapple to all those other things and mixing it up back and forth from there. Bonjour, d'où va bien? What's going on, fight fans? We are on the eve of battle. We have a great card coming live from Paris, or from France, Paris, being headlined this weekend by Benoit Saint-Denis versus Renato Moicano, live from France. There's a bunch of bangers on this fight. As y'all know, I like to go through, give my thoughts on them. I've checked out some of the guys on his cards. I'm familiar with some of the guys on his card. So we're going to go down, and I'm going to give y'all my little breakdown from here on there on a few bouts and tell y'all what I think. We're going to start it out light heavyweight prelim fight. I'm going to go with over the last two prelims. OUMAR Sai versus Da-Un Jun. So Da-Un Jun is somebody that I'm actually familiar with. I was supposed to make my debut against Da-Un Jun back after I got signed off Contender Series, pretty much relatively on short notice. Wasn't able to get my passport. Fight kind of fell through, so I've kind of kept up with him. He's good. He's a fun fighter to watch. He's fighting one of France's highly touted prospects. I believe this guy made his debut against my guy Tuco. He's a grappling ace. He's got really, really long arms from what I remember. Yeah, 6'4", 83-inch reach. So yeah, he's got extremely long arms. One of those guys that can scratch his knees standing up. So how do I see the fight? Well, I see the fight as Sai's gonna have to get to what he does, and he seems to be pretty good at that. Getting people to the ground, working his way, and eventually working his way to a submission. That seems to be his game from the one fight that I did see. Not really big on the striking. Of course, he's got an 83-inch reach, so he will be able to pop maybe some jabs out there, some overhands. He does have the ability to be able to touch some people if he wants to. But Da-Un Jun, for the most part, is orthodox, kind of flat-footed. He's a power puncher. He can flow and get off into a rhythm. He does want to back you into the corner. I suggest that is what he does in this fight. Try to keep Sai on the back foot. Be ready to grapple. Be ready to sprawl, and keep the fight standing and just kind of walk him down and see if you can beat on him, put him in the corner, batter him, get him tired. For Sai, just get him to the ground. We've seen Da-Un Jun be taken down and submitted by a kickboxer in Carlos Ulberg. They was able to take him down, control him, and get his back. So I would have to think that somebody that's their bread and butter would be able to do the same, and I believe that that's what he should try to get to. The second fight on the another light heavyweight fight. Co-feature prelim, Ian CUTELABA versus Irvin ERSLAN. I don't know. Pretty much a brawler. This is gonna be a brawler fight. It's gonna be a banger. What I've seen from the Irvin guy, he just kind of wings shots. He kind of stands there fairly flat-footed, wants to back into the corner and just drop bombs and put it on. He'll take some shots to give some shots. And that's the type of guy that Ian CUTELABA is. He kind of, he plays to that fight. He likes to be in that wild style and in that, but he has some skill and some technique with him. I've done some rounds with him sparring, so he does have the ability to box on the inside and be a little bit more clean than we've seen from him. I suggest that's what he does in this fight. Short shots on the inside, good clean, good jabs, good fast jabs. Be ready to sling, hands up, ready to slip and rip whenever Ian throws, because he throws everything into his shots. So if you can make him miss, there's a big opening there, and I think he then counter with combos, and just be fast on the inside whenever you're first there, and then whenever he does get his shots off, be ready to neutralize and be ready to counter, because once he swings big the way he swings, if you were able to neutralize it and counter on your own, he's wide open. For Irving, I think he should put CUTELABA up against the cage. We've seen CUTELABA be a little bit passive at times. So for Irving, I'd like to see him use a jab. I didn't see much of a fast setup jab to kind of place him, set him where he wants. Because once he gets him up against the cage and he's able to unload and let those bombs go, this dude is devastating when he punches. Moving on to the main card, Matt FREVOLA versus Fares Zan. It's a good fight. ZAM is a very, very tall lightweight. He's about 6'1". FREVOLA's about 5'9". So there is a height and a reach discrepancy here for ZAM. But the thing is, for ZAM, he likes the one shot. He's a big time one shotter. So that's the thing about guys at the smaller weight classes when they're tall. They like the pop shot guys. So because I don't know if maybe they don't have as much weight behind them, so they're not just pushing forward and pushing through it or what it is. But they tend to bow, one shot, a good hard jab, a good hard punch, a good hard kick, and kind of sit there. I believe that is a way for him to get at Matt in this fight, is sniping him, keeping him on the outside, staying out of range. Matt doesn't have the best footwork getting inside. So if ZAM is able to keep him on the outside, move his feet and jab and snipe him with shots and get him to come in reckless and give him and land a big shot from there, I would suggest that be the thing for him. But as far as Matt go, Matt should get inside. He's got to get inside. He's got to cut inside of that range. The thing about guys that do these one pop shot, one off shots, if you're able to block it and you're able to have good footwork and good position, I believe his base and his footwork is going to be very, very pivotal in this for FREVOLA. He's got to be able to counter. He's going up against a guy that's a little bit faster. He's got a little bit more reach, but he does do that single heavy one shot. And what that does, that leaves your hand out there, that leaves you exposed. You get caught admiring your work, and there's room to be countered within that. And I believe that's where Matt should be, and he should be countering with combos. Not just don't do him the favor of just giving him one shot back. Counter him with combos, cover up, head up, and whenever that jab comes, bang, have either that straight right hand ready, straight right hand with a hook behind it, or a hook with something else behind it. But he definitely needs to counter with combos and within good distance, with good balance and good base under his feet. Second fight, Morgan Charrisi versus Gabriel Miranda. I believe Gabriel Miranda is the Brazilian guy. Morgan is the French guy. So Morgan is he's explosive. He's a really, really explosive fighter. He's got really good kicks. He's really, really athletic. He's got really, really good striking. Gabriel is, from what I've seen from his fights, he's a little bit more labored, set in his stance, a little bit more stiff, kind of come at you like that. I believe he does have the physical advantage. I believe he might be. He's taller. He is taller. He has he's 3 inches taller, 2 inches on the reach from there, but. I'm concerned with how he holds his hands and the way that he moves, right? He does have some good counter shots. He does respond. He will respond and throw back once he's hit. The thing is, a guy like Morgan, he's fast. He's really, really fast. And his strikes are fast and they have pops on him, and he throws combinations. So for Miranda, man, I say for Miranda, I say he might want to tie this kid up. I say tie him up, test his grappling, test him on the ground, try to impose yourself physically on him in that regard. I don't suggest standing up and kind of dancing around with this kid. And for Morgan, I believe that's what he should do. Stay on the feet, dance around, use that athleticism and that movement to be fast, in and out, strike, and get back out. Because I don't think Gabriel has the speed to keep up with him. I believe that if he can get into a flow of in and out and good combos, entering with good combos and things like that, I believe he could put a really good fight on it. Another thing is that body kick that Morgan throws from the backside. I believe he should find ways to open up and find that body kick, because the way that Gabriel holds his hands, he's really, really open for that. Yeah, that's how I see that fight. Kevin JOUSSET versus BRYAN battle. Good fight. Solid fight at the welterweight division. I had a chance to look at Kevin's fight, and this dude throws. He sits in and he throws bombs, bro. He throws bombs. He doesn't have any head movement. He roots his feet really far into the ground. And as far as where his body shifting and his body is supposed to be for punches, it's not exactly there. It's not the most technical and it's not the most defensively sound. But the dude does hit hard. He does hit and he can crack, and he has good eyes in exchanges for when somebody's swinging at him, and he's able to get his shots off as well. BRYAN battle, to me, is a stud, bro. He's a stud. He's a young stud coming up. And he's better every time we see him. He's getting better, and he's progressively getting better every time we see him. Last fight, he got into a rhythm and a flow, and he just looked really good, putting it on his last opponent. How do I see this fight though? I think BRYAN is gonna have to enter mindfully with his footwork, but also be light on his feet to where he's gonna be able to give that space back. Because with how Kevin throws, some of the best ways for him to set him up is at the end of his punch, right? So he sits in and he'll sit in and he'll just like throw and just like wing punches from a very straight up, very head high still stance. And doing that leaves some deficiencies on your ability to be able to get back and defend yourself after you throw. And I believe he's wide open after he throws. He does put in combinations, so that can cause a little bit of a problem. But for the most part, the way that he throws them, if just distance, like leaning back would get you out of the way of these. Would get you out of the way of a good number of his strikes, but you don't want to get caught. You don't want to get caught leaning. So I suggest BRYAN be light on his feet, in and out, work behind a very good jab, work behind good feints, and try to, if he can actually even draw one of those strikes out before he even fully commits or enters in, I believe he could have him in some serious trouble there. So I believe that the footwork, the lateral and in and out movement from battle, and the ability to that mixed with the ability to sell him on feints. For Kevin against BRYAN, I believe he should try to push battle back. He's got to get BRYAN on his back leg. He's got to get him back. He's got to get him up against the cage, and that's where he'll have the best shot at with landing and throwing his shots from there. Now he has to be careful because BRYAN has the ability to catch. He's catch and counter, as we've seen him do against I believe his name is Gabriel Green in one of his previous bouts. So he does have the ability to finish you going backwards on the back foot. But if he's able to corner him, get him up, get his back up against the cage, and kind of get him in more of a leaning thing, and then pepper and put shots on him, I believe that would work all right, fairly decent for him. I've seen Kevin also was able to get on strike, put it on the guy, and able to get on his back and get a submission too. So he does have a ground game there. I know BRYAN's ground game is fairly game, so I don't see that as really being something that he'll be able to really get to. But who knows? That's how I see the fight. Willie Gomez versus Joanderson Brito. Yeah. I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't really have much to say on this fight. I see this fight as really they set Joe Anderson up to knock this guy out. Joe Anderson's is on a 5-fight win streak, all finishes. He's a very, very physically forward, imposing dude. He has some of the nastiest kicks we've seen, almost Jose Aldo-like nasty, with the way he just rips and throws these kicks. And from what I've seen from William is very, very passive. He's very, very passive, very, very back on his back leg, willing to hop. He has good footwork and good movement, but he more so uses it to avoid, more so rather than to set things up. He does have a very fast initial twitch forward where when he's firing straights or he's firing twos, he's able to get those off very, very, very well. And but he doesn't put anything behind it. He doesn't put anything behind it, and he doesn't mind his positioning behind it. So even when he does land the shots, there's not a whole lot of like knock you out power in it, and he's in bad position to get grabbed and be taken down. So for this one, I would like to see William bounce around back and forth, but then whenever he does come forward, he does commit with that speed, because he does have the speed advantage there. Do combos, throw combos, and throw more than one. You need more than one. This guy, he needs volume. The way that he throws, the way that he fights, he needs volume. He wastes a lot of energy bouncing around, moving around. I would like to see him be more precise with his movement, and getting to where he should be to take advantage of it while also keeping himself out of danger. Because Joe Anderson's going to come after him. He's going to come after him. He's going to be looking to put him up against the cage and unload shots on him. Exactly how he fights is exactly what he needs to do to win this fight, which is work those heavy leg kicks, because the way that he stands kind of leaning back, his leg is exposed. So I believe he should work with the work from the leg kicks, as he's done in previous fights. He kicked the guy's leg last fight, had his leg bleeding so bad the doctor stopped the fight. Those are nasty leg kicks. I believe he should work behind those, keep his hands up, because initially this kid is fast. Don't throw naked kicks like he did in that fight. He's going to have to set him up. He's going to have to set him up with feints and threats of other things before he's able to just throw him, because this kid can counter, and because he can counter, and he is pretty fast coming back off of that back foot. But for the most part, that's just how I see this fight. Nassourdine IMAVOV versus my brother Brendan Allen. Man, this is a good fight. This is a really, really good fight. We've seen what Nassourdine does. Nassourdine has really, really good striking. He has good boxing. He has very, very game hands in this fight. He throws good combinations. He's good at sniping from the outside. He's good at whenever he's get caught and entering it with it when in the fire. Brendan does as well. Brendan is very, very well, very, very good at both. I believe his grappling outshines his striking a little bit, but Brendan is a very, very good striker as well. The thing is he on the level of a Nassourdine? I believe he does have the ability to land and keep up in that department but I feel for sakes of the path of least resistance for this fight, I believe Brendan Allen should get to the takedown. He should use his strikes. Yeah, use the ability, because he can roll and he can rip, and he does get caught in having fun in doing that. I believe his best path of least resistance is getting Nassourdine to the ground, tying him up, being able to get him to the ground and implement his ground game. Brendan has some of the best ground game in this division. You know, as we've seen what he did against Paul Craig, right? For Nassourdine, he's gonna have to try to keep Brendan on that back foot. You're gonna want him on the back foot. You're gonna want him to engage you, to indulge you, and if you can indulge into that ego of the striking, I believe that is somewhere where he might be able to land a shot. Brendan has been caught before. He does tend to get caught up in just that admiring your own work and striking. I believe that's the one thing that he does have to get over to take his striking to the next level, is admiring your own work. You know, he gets caught. It's fun whenever you bang, you catch it, and then you land a good thing, but understand there's work to be done after that, and he's looking to come back after you, and this guy like Nassourdine is going to do that. He's going to come back after he gets hit, especially when he gets hit. He's going to want to come back and get it back. I believe Brendan should use his striking, because he will be able to hit him. He's going to be able to hit him. He's going to be able to land. But use that to get him to engage and thinking that you're going to strike, and then get him to the ground and get to where I believe in this fight he has a huge, huge advantage. But yeah, for the most part, Nassourdine should be trying to get him on the back leg, try to get him to engage in the striking. He's got good hips. He's got good sprawl. He's very good at being able to stay on his feet. I believe that's the path that he has to victory is on the feet. That's how I see the fight. Renato Money MOICANO versus Benoit Saint Denis. It's a good fight, man. It's a good fight. Saint Denis is a wrecking ball. He's gonna come forward. Get right in his face, right off the bat, and make it a fight. He's gonna make you fight him. He's gonna make you confront those nerves, that fear, and all those things that you might feel in the fight right away. That's what Saint Denis does. He makes you face those fears of being in a fight and all those questions right out the gate. And Those can be exhausting for some people. He pushes a pretty heavy pace to begin with, which gets him tired, but I believe his mental toughness is something that he leans on for him to be able to win whenever they are both tired. And we've seen Renato come out slow. He comes out slow sometimes. He does sometimes need a moment to kind of get going and build his thing up. Like the last fight with Jalen Turner, he got dropped, almost got finished, was able to slowly start building his momentum and got himself going. I don't believe this is a fight where he'll be able to get rocked, hurt, and be able to come back and finish, because Saint Denis has very, very legit ground. Very, very legit ground game. I think this dude is strong. I think this dude has unbelievably strong grappling. We talked about it a little bit on the Aljo podcast. If y'all haven't seen that, you go over on his channel and check that out. But I think this dude is extremely, extremely strong. I went back and watched some more of his other fights, and he does the right things, but he is manhandling these dudes. Sometimes there's certain positions that he should not win, and he wins them just off of brute strength. Or brute strength or just ability to, I don't know, bro. He's just got really, really, really weird grappling strength. Renato Moicano is a very, very game grappling. His jiu-jitsu is game. He comes to fight. He's got a good chin, and he's willing to sit in and throw and bang. But in this fight, I think he needs to pick his shots a little better. I think he needs to pick his shots, kind of sit back, take his time, let Saint Denis come full blown and bring that storm early. I think he should weather it calmly and efficiently. Just do the right things. Don't let him make you overwork yourself and overexert you to where you play into his game. For Saint Denis, I think he should come out and do just that. Come out, get on him early, and try to find some shots early to push him back, get him up against the cage, and just work to put him in that blender and get him into that blender of work, whether that be from punches to making him grapple to all those other things, and mixing it up back and forth from there. I don't believe he should get into a grappling to where he's kind of just sitting, because I believe Moicano does have the ability to kind of slow things down a little bit more on the ground than he would as opposed to standing up, to be honest with you, just based off of the footwork and how he moves. So Saint Denis should definitely press the action forward, try to get him into a panic, got to get him to a grinder and a blender of work early. But Renato's got to slow it down, bro. You just got to slow it down, neutralize things to do. Because what Saint Denis does, it's brute force and things like that. But it's small things that can interrupt. Like a lot of times, whenever he throws that initial punch to get you to go backwards, and then he tries to follow up there. Deal with the first punch, interrupt his combinations. Interrupt his combinations, fast jab, things like that forward, so that he can't get you in that blender and you're able to stop. He can, whenever he's ready to go up and explode into you, you can stop him, you can neutralize it, and you can kind of settle it down a little bit. But yeah, that's how I see this one. It's going to be a pretty interesting card. It's going to be live. It's a pretty early card because it's over in Europe. I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be dope. I am going to still do a war council for next week's fight. You got Alex Pereira taking on Khalil Roundtree. You know, crazy fight in the division. It's gonna be striker versus striker, so it should be a fun one to watch. We're gonna make sure we cover that. I'm thinking about, I got some ideas, some other videos, some other conversations and things going around with the O'Malley and Merab having their thing. When O'Malley feeling he win, Merab are now offering him a rematch, and UMAR isn't really feeling that. And then you have recently with the DC comments of John Jones not being the Michael Jordan of our time. And I believe there's an interesting conversation, a little something that I actually kind of want to get into that. I'm going to get into that. Another video soon to come. Y'all stay tapped into the channel. Appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's have a conversation, man. Let's talk about these things. I love talking about these fights. I love hearing y'all point of views on certain things within the techniques and the realm of the game, and maybe some of the things that y'all see or how y'all feel things went. And let's keep conversation, keep having it fun, and let's keep enjoying this great sport. Appreciate y'all. Nothing but love. Stay up. Take care of each other. All that things. And they say bonjour to leave too. Peace. All right, bye.